One thing that's funny is after he finished taking her down right there on the kitchen counter or whatever, he asked her, "Hey, you ever played in the snow before?" She said, "Nah, you never know how many inches you gonna get." So they basically saying that the white guys coming up short compared to brothers. And Tommy say, "Oh yeah, your ass just got a blizzard tonight, huh?" He came back with the nice quick comeback. That was good shit right there. So who knows, man? Maybe they may be the nice little couple, coming together in the future. But in the end, I think she fucking around with playing with fire. And she think that out of all this shit that happened, she say, "Tommy, you the only good thing that's happened to me." So she done had a hard time if she think Tommy is the good thing that's happened to her. The craziest, dumbest, pure dope dealing hood motherfucker there is on the show is the good thing. He didn't kill his last girl. He didn't fought and kill any damn body. He don't want to go straight ever. He laughed at Ghost when Ghost was trying to go straight every time. All he want to do is sell dope and be a hood nigga, and he talking about he loved that shit. And Keisha's a good girl in this. It's just a shame she could never find a good man or somebody to treat her right. And so in the end, she done got caught up wanting to be like Tasha, wanting this money, wanting to be able to do all this stuff. And she don't realize that it's a double-edged sword. And in the end, when it swing back, it's going to cut deep. And so all that shit Tasha got and this and that, it's a whole lot of drama and shit that go along with it that really ain't worth it. She was better off just living her simple life and staying away from all that shit. She got a son to think of. She the only one there for him. And in the end, she might lose everything fucking around with their ass. Now they cut to the mystery white OG. And he talking to his lawyer and finds out even more bad news that his wife got less time to live with than they thought. And in the meantime, he had asked his lawyer, to check up on Ghost and get some information because that Chinese lawyer, Mock, was trying to prosecute him at first, but then he dropped him to focus on Ghost. So he was wondering, well, damn, who the hell is this dude? He must be important if dude dropped me for him. And then he finds out, that Ghost is from, Brooklyn or the Bronx or wherever he said. And Tommy Egan is his friend, and they trying to put them together and whatever. And when he heard the word Tommy Egan, the light went off in his head. And he thinking, well, damn, Tommy, where are they from as well? And then he tells them, and he thinking, huh. And so they don't say much, but I'm guessing that that's probably Tommy's long lost dad, since his mama is basically a cokehead, and who knows what the hell she's been doing with herself or whatever. They never mentioned Tommy's dad, so in the end, he's probably Tommy's long lost dad. Plus, they mentioned, with his wife, she wished she had a kid for him and this and that. And so, in the end, it's just setting it up perfect that Tommy will be his kid. And somehow or another, he gonna look out for Ghost while he in there. And who knows, he may even have some way to get Mock in trouble or say Mock full of shit or some evidence or some way to prove, Mike did this or that or something. But in the end, he's probably gonna be Tommy's dad, and we'll see how that turns out. Right here, they showing Mock trying to pick the jury and lay out the groundwork of saying that Ghost killed Greg for his childhood friend and his boss, Tommy Egan, who is Ghost, and that they worked together to take him down. And they kind of got the story right, but then again, they wrong all the way around. Ghost was the boss. He didn't work for Tommy. Ghost is James St. Patrick, and it's not Tommy. And he didn't kill Greg. But the way that they got the narrative, it does sound pretty convincing. And they do have the murder weapon. And it pretty much looks bad for Ghost. I mean, if I didn't know and we didn't know what was going on, we would all probably agree that he's screwed. And then before it's all over, they show somebody in the courtroom, and then that somebody later texts Proctor, and we realize Proctor got an inside man, and now he knows the angle that the prosecution is going for, and now he realizes, oh shit, Ghost is in trouble. Not only do they have him nailed to the wall, but this asshole is looking for the death penalty, and he's going to give him the needle and put him to death. And damn, he don't know what to do. Well, now he's trying to text back and forth, find out what's the story, and he's just floored because he's like, oh shit, I'm good, but damn, I don't know if I'm that good. They got a damn good story. They got evidence. Oh man, you fucked. Then they cut to Mock giving congratulations out to everybody and saying good job. Hey, thanks Samuel L. Jackson for finding the gun. You know, your big waterhead actually came to use for something, headquarters, and you know, we got this guy. And then Angie finds out, hey, we gonna put him to death with the death penalty, and now she like, oh shit, damn, not only am I going to lose Greg to death, I'm going to lose Jamie to death. And damn, she conflicted because she thinking, well, he did it, he deserved it. But then in the back of her head, she like, man, I don't know if he did it or not. It just don't sound right. And then they talking about the gun that's found in his office. And by her knowing him, she knows he would never be that sloppy and do anything like that. So she's saying, I don't know, man, that just don't sound right. But in the end, what can she do? Although she got second thoughts about, you know, did he really do it? Um, she's still like, well, it is a lot of evidence, and they trying to connect Tommy to it, and she been wanting to nail Tommy for shit for 3 seasons now, and so she's saying, well, hey, he got an alibi with his mama, but maybe we can put a tail on him or something. And, you know, his dumb ass, from what I know, he can't stop. And they saying, well, he probably ain't doing shit now that his friend is in jail, this and that. He ain't that stupid. And she's saying, well, actually, he is. So we'll see. They probably put a tail, and maybe they'll end up getting Tommy on some stupid shit. Knowing Tommy, it won't be hard if they really put a tail on him. He's liable to do something stupid at any moment. You know, he's very reactionary. He doesn't think before he moves. You know, he's very impulsive, you know, and that's not good at any time in life to be impulsive, whether you're an impulse shopper or impulse with relationships or anything. That's how people get AIDS and shit, because you're sleeping with somebody you just met, don't even know them. You know, they looked good, and so you all just did whatever, and who knows what may happen. You don't even know that person. Or, you know, impulse shopper, and you buying a bunch of shit. You go to the store to buy one thing, and you come out with a whole bunch of stuff, and you spend more money than your budget, you know, allows, and now you always have problems with that. So it's not good to be impulsive. It's always good to, you know, be calculated and think before you do things and stick to a plan. And that's how Ghost was. That's why he probably can't believe he's in this situation. But he messed up when he put that finger on that on that window. That was stupid. But anyway, here we are, and so we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And then they show Tommy meeting up with Proctor, who he knows because Proctor got his ass off when he was in jail, and now he's finding out, you know, hey, damn, Ghost is really fucked. And now he's realizing that, you know, how deep the situation is. Um, he's telling him that they trying to bring him down. Proctor's telling him they trying to bring him down as well by saying, you know, hey, you're the boss or whatever, and they're gonna try to bring y'all both together in this. And Proctor also, you know, been having to deal with getting dope to give to his coked up wife or ex-wife or whatever, and so he gets his little shit from Tommy as well. And then Tommy says, hey, if shit don't go right, hey, me and you, I'll be looking for you, basically. He puts a big threat. It wasn't no light threat. He gives him the threat, and it scares the shit out of Proctor. And then before he leaves, Proctor says, man, just lay low. Don't do shit. They probably watching you. They probably tailing you because they want to put you together and bring you down as well. So be cool, lay low, don't do shit stupid. And, we all know who Tommy is. So, of course, Tommy. Of course, typical Tommy, first thing he do is go and seek revenge on the guy that punched his boy, and he goes overboard. Um, it was unnecessary. They already calmed everything down. He didn't talk to Julio first. He just straight reacts, as always, and goes straight after the guy just to prove a point. Don't fuck with our organization. And I can understand that. And, I mean, he's right to a certain extent, but they already kind of squashed it. He could have had Julio or somebody else deal with that. But he trying to make a point, and the heat is too hot. It's just too hot. It was no need for Tommy to have to go and prove that point. He just got some juicy booty from Keisha. He just got the news from Proctor. He's still free right now. He need to just count his blessings and leave that shit alone. But that's Tommy. Impulse. It's funny because dude tries to run or whatever, and they playing this music that goes along with it. I'm not gonna play any of this stuff because I don't want any copyright strikes. But it's a great little montage in this scene and everything, and it just goes perfectly with how Tommy is and how everything reacts. It's definitely worth watching. And Tommy handles business the way Tommy could. Then they show Tariq meeting up with Kanan for hood lesson number 1. He asks Kanan and talks to him and asks. He tells Tariq that his name is Slim, so Tariq think he dealing with a guy named Slim all this time, and he say, "Hey man, you heard of a dude named Kanan?" And then, he kind of 50 Cent, Slim get a light go off in his head like, oh shit, man, who the fuck been talking to this kid, man, about to mess up my goddamn plans. And then he say, oh yeah, man, I heard of him, but man, he dead. Don't worry about him. And so he like, oh okay. And then he move on. And so that was a quick little way to squash that. But he know, damn, shit's getting close. Somebody's fucking up what I got going on. And that kind of pisses him off now. And the only person he can think of that would do that, of course, is Dre. Dre been telling him, leave the kid alone, don't do this, don't do that. And he ended up paying them, based off the last episode, $45,000 a week that he's stealing from the club just to leave the kid alone. And Dre is stupid because he kind of put himself in isolation by putting all his eggs in the Canaan basket with a motherfucker that might switch on him and change and, on him at the drop of a dime. He already saw he killed his own son. So what do you think he'd do to him? He should have told Tommy that he was back and alive a long time ago, but he didn't. And so now, if he say anything, it's going to look like he was holding out and can't be trusted with Tommy. And now, if Kanan flip on him, he all by himself. He ain't got nowhere to go. He ain't got no help. If he tell Tommy, then he's screwed. He got to come up with some elaborate lie. He had the chance last episode to say something when they said who was Slim. He could have said, hey man, that's Kanan. But he didn't because he was scared. He didn't know. He could have said, man, I thought he was dead. I thought he was gone. But when I went to pick up Tariq, I saw it was Kanan over there on the side. I didn't know that was who he was hanging with, but Kanan didn't know it was me picking him up either. So, man, we need to do something about this. He could have came up with some way to do something. And at least if Kanan would have said, man, he knew about this the whole time or whatever, then, you know, at least he would have had some type of backup and say, man, he lying, this and that. He just trying to bring me down with him or whatever. He could have said something, but he didn't. And so the longer he lets that lie keep going on, the more guilty he becomes, and also the more isolated he becomes, because he won't be fully trusted by Tommy, and Kanan don't trust him no more as time goes on, because he think he trying to, you know, bring him down or hate on him or whatever the case. And so in the end, he's screwed. He's screwed. So he better figure out something, some way to tell Tommy sometime soon, or else he gonna end up dead. You know, Kanan to kill him with no problem. Shit, he killed his own son. So if you kill your own son, I don't give a damn if you was estranged or whatever. You still, that was your son. They did have time together. They had a relationship. Whatever the case, he knew that was his son, and he just shot him in the head. So, you know, in the end, a person like that just can't be trusted. And Tariq, dumbass, he don't even know he had a gun pointed to the back of his head, and the only thing saved him is that he said he didn't like his dad. You know, if he hadn't said that out the blue right before that happened, his head would have been blown away. You know, but by him saying that, Kanan figured, well, hey, since Ghost took my son and had my son on his side, I'm going to take his son and have his son on my side. You know, that broke my heart when my son chose Ghost over me. I know it's going to break his heart when he find out his son chose me over him. And then, with Ghost being locked up, when he does find out that Tariq is hanging with Kanan and chose him over him, and he locked up and can't do a damn thing about it, oh man, that's gonna break his heart. That's gonna kill him, man. That's gonna kill him inside. So, man, he got a diabolical plan working at this moment against Ghost that's gonna really, really hurt his heart. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Now Ghost is starting to really get hit with the shit. He get hit with the shit in the fan, in the face. The fan is blowing the shit in his face, and he's starting to realize how fucked he really is. You know, Proctor is telling him how they trying to bring him down with Tommy under all these different possible scenarios, whether they're kingpins together or he worked for Tommy or whatever the case. Either way, he's screwed. And no matter how good he is, it's going to be damn hard to try to fight all this stuff. And that his best option is to flip on Tommy and get a deal and flip on Tommy and get Tommy in jail. And he's thinking, damn, how can I do that? And he's saying, well, if I was on that side of the table, that's what I would be considering. And he say, well, you're not on this side of the table. It's me and Tommy, and I don't know if I can do that. You know, in the end, he don't know how close Tommy was to flipping on him and Angela, though. If he knew that, maybe he would reconsider. But Tommy didn't do it when Tommy was locked up. He did get Tommy out and help cover his ass. So Tommy does owe him for that. But in the end, he doesn't know how close Tommy was to flipping on him. If it was there another day or so, Tommy would have probably flipped on him and told everybody about him and Angela and all this shit and how he was doing this and how he was doing that. And Tommy was dirty. He was about to flip on him. But in the end, he didn't. So, and he doesn't know that. So, and he's thinking, damn, I guess I'm going to have to go down. I can't snitch on Tommy and bring him down, and I can't, you know, get a deal and do this and that and tell on everything, because, you know, then he'll be a snitch and have to live with that, and it'll be all this problem, and then he'll know he sent Tommy to jail, and Tommy don't have nothing to do with this Greg Knox shit, really, you know. So you'll be telling on Tommy and bringing him down for some shit he didn't have nothing to do with, you know. Yeah, he may be part of the other shit, but that's not what you got caught up with. You know, this is a murder case. This ain't a dope case. They trying to bring Tommy down and say that this is a dope case and that you killed Greg to free Tommy of suspicion or whatever the case, or clean it all up, or however they try to do it to bring Tommy back in, because they can't bring Tommy back for the same charges as before. But and they still think Tommy is Ghost. But that'd be messed up if he try to bring Tommy in over this murder case and over this shit with Angela and Greg and this love triangle, because Tommy and the business ain't even involved. They ain't have shit to do with this. So that would be a straight punk move for real, to tell on Tommy and bring him down just to save his own ass. Now, don't get me wrong, he is facing the death penalty, and when you facing the death penalty, man, I know that's got to be hard to handle. And so I can understand the dilemma that he's in, because shit, he got three kids and Tasha and Tommy just by himself. Now that doesn't mean Tommy's life is less valuable than his, but he does have four people depending on him, whereas Tommy is just by himself, his mother. And so I mean, people try to justify things all the time, from stealing from your job because you say, well, they don't pay me enough. Well, then quit and find another job if they don't pay you enough. You know, you can't justify stealing it, or stealing from your friends. Well, they won't miss it, or they owe me, or this or that. Well, if they owe you, why don't you talk to them and say, hey, you owe me this or that? And then they should be coming, if they really your friend, you can come to an arrangement to get that debt or whatever they owe you taken care of and ratified. But people do all kind of things and justify stuff in their own mind to make themselves feel better and make themselves feel like they're right. So who knows how it's going to turn out. But I don't think Ghost is a snitch, and I don't think he's going to go out like that. Here they showing how they about to try to set Tommy up. Well, I guess it ain't a setup if all they doing is follow him and he doing as usual. They lucky they didn't start to put that tracking device on his car right before he just fucked with old boy. So Tommy lucky. But nevertheless, they just put a tracking device on Tommy's car without Tommy knowing, and they're basically gonna nail Tommy ass to the wall, and he has no idea what's coming for him. Oh, well, actually, he does have an idea because they gave him a heads up, Proctor, but he has no idea how close and how quick they're moving. Then they show Tommy's mom come right to Tommy's apartment. Okay, they talking, they trying to catch up on what's going on. Tommy's saying all this shit is going on because Ghost kept fucking with Angela, and she say, well, you know, whatever, you had girl problems too. Tommy, I told you that Holly wasn't no good. She left you, huh? Because she saw that he had that chain with the ring around, and he's saying, no, it's the other way around. I got rid of her. Hint, hint. And she said, oh, good, you listen, you smarten up, good boy, not knowing how he got rid of her. Okay. Tommy then tells her, hey, take my car, you know, it's hot for me right now. You take it. And she can't believe it because that's his baby. And he say, hey, if the shit goes down, I need you to be straight. You know where the money is so that you can bail me out. And you be safe, Mom. And you cover my back. You know, and if shit goes down and I do get locked, you come and bail me out. You know where everything is. You got all the money. You my alibi. You know, and now you got my car. So boom, cover me. And he don't know how lucky he is that the same day they put the damn bug on his car, he was giving it to his mom. Now, let's just hope she ain't going to crack houses every day and they following that and then try to say he been servicing crack houses and shit, because it's going to come back on him. He can say, well, that wasn't me, that was my mom, but unless they bust her driving the car going to the crack house or whatever, they could say you was the one supplying these dope houses and shit, and you know, we got you, we had a tail on you and we got your ass. So hopefully she know ain't going directly to crack houses to get her dope or some shit like that, and you know, she doesn't get Tommy in trouble by driving that car in the wrong place. In the end, it was a great move for Tommy, but we'll see if it all how it turns out. Angie been thinking, and she telling Mike, man, I know y'all found the gun and this and that, but it just seemed fishy that he left that gun in his office. That just doesn't sound right. And he's saying, hey, look, maybe that's the case, but we got him. We got the evidence. It's a slam dunk. And, we're going to put this guy in jail. And, of course, he going to say that and try to reassure her because he's the main one that killed Greg. And he don't want to go to jail. So he throwing it all on St. Patrick, the dirty bastard. And he don't give a shit about her either. So he just trying to keep her cool because he knows she's a hell of an investigator, Snoopy. This they should call her Snoopy because she snoop around and do all kind of sneaky shit. And so if he keep her cool, then maybe she don't snoop around and do anything sneaky. If he don't keep her cool, then who knows? She may snoop around, do some sneaky shit, and end up finding out the truth somehow, some way. So that's why he trying to keep her cool. And then right after he tries to keep her cool, Mock walks right in. And he's just happy as a pig and shit because he got it confirmed that he can prosecute him under murder one and go for the death penalty. And now shit got real. She realizing, oh shit, this is really about to happen. And he just as happy as can be because he gonna get the bad guy and he gonna get to beat Proctor. So he just as happy as can be. And Mike is happy because he know, man, this dude really about to take the fall for this shit, and I'm gonna be free. It's not gonna be on my ass no more for a guarantee. So this dirty bastard might actually get away with it. I'm trying to see how the writers are gonna come up with Ghost being able to get out of this shit, because you can't kill him because this is a good show. You don't want the show to end because it's all about money, but you want it to be good so people stay engaged. And they definitely got it good and got people engaged. It's the #1 rated show on Stars. So, and they were fishy about even starting this show when they did. They only greenlit a few episodes originally, and then it did so good that they kept extending it to another season. And I know they extended it to 3 more seasons, I think, or 2 more. So I know Ghost ain't gonna die, because how you gonna have the main character die but you got the show going on for 2 more years? So it's definitely gonna be interesting how this is gonna work out. After finding out that, they getting ready to have a meeting, a strategy meeting about how they're going to pursue this death penalty and put Ghost to death, she says, well, I want to be a part of the strategy meeting. He said, come on, you on the bench. You ain't a starter. You barely lucky you on the team anymore. So you on the bench. You're not going to be a part of it. We'll let you know what we decide. And in the end, your boy is fucked. So ain't nothing you can do about it. You're not gonna be a part of it. Yeah, you may think that finding a gun was too easy and fishy and this and that, but in the end, what you gonna do about it? Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's over. Right here, they show Ghost meeting with Proctor again, and now Proctor has the news, and it's a bombshell. He's letting them know, hey, now they got it approved. They got you in murder one, and they're seeking the death penalty. Yes, they're trying to put you to death for this, Ghost. And they got a shitload of evidence. They got your DNA on his body because, he had just pulled you over that night. I guess he didn't wash his hands, is basically what happened, I'm guessing. And then they got your fingerprints on the window. And now they got the murder weapon in your nightclub. You're screwed, brother. And they want to put you to death by lethal injection. So now shit just got real. You still thinking about snitching on Tommy yet? Because now it's not a possibility that they can do this or that. This is what they're going to do. Now we got to fight the case. You haven't been convicted yet, but it's official. Ain't know what they may do or what they may not do. This is what they're going to do. And it doesn't look good for you. After all of that, he just could just look like, damn, I thought I had shit on lock. I thought I was smart. All this time, I ain't never been locked up, and now they got me on some shit like this. Which, when he was looking for that bail hearing, that should have been one of the number one things they stressed in the last episode, is that he don't have a criminal record. He never been locked up before. How could you all be putting him in jail for all of this? And the man never committed a crime before. And now all of a sudden, you can't even get house arrest? They should have gave him house arrest at least. You know, that's messed up. I think that was a failure on his legal team, uh, on the episode before this, because he definitely should have been on house arrest at home at the very least. Plus, he got money, he got business, never been convicted of a crime. He should have definitely gotten house arrest with ankle bracelet monitoring. He should have been able to go to work at his club and do all kind of things. But I guess that would have not been able to plant the weapon so easily at his club if he was free, because then he would have been able to watch it and do different things and stuff, and then the prosecution could have went on ahead if they did find it was saying it was corruption and tampering, because this man is out, and why would he have a gun there and he been out? If he really was the killer, he would have moved it or hid it or got rid of it. But now all of a sudden he got it at the club after all this time. That wouldn't have made sense. So I guess they had to make him not get out on bail just to keep the story, the season going in this direction. Otherwise, it would have switched to a whole new direction if he would have got out. So I guess that's good writing to keep everybody interested. But in reality, he would have got that bail, I believe, and they wouldn't have been able to plant that so easy, because they could always say, I've been free on bail all this time. Why would I leave a gun in the club? I would have got rid of it if I was really them, if it was really me. Why would I do that? This is corruption with Angela and, that department trying to get back at me because I dumped her or whatever the case. But, it is what it is. He got screwed over, and now he really getting screwed. He might as well be getting screwed by a dude with that biscuit. Get some of that biscuit booty, because he in deep doo-doo. Now Tasha get the phone call, and she getting the news that it's murder one and the death penalty. And shit, I'm surprised she didn't fall out on the floor and pass out. She was strong by not doing that, because her whole world is coming to an end. She wanted him to be the best dope dealer in all of the land and stay doing this forever. And now shit just hit the fan, and now she realized, well, this shit is about to be over with. I may never see this nigga again. He going to the death penalty. And she might start thinking he did it just cause she found out, all this information and shit. And so, damn, I know it's hard for her to stay cool for the kids, and now she thinking how she gonna support her family. It ain't no more money left. This dumbass nigga done took all the money out the bank, sold all their stocks, fucking around with this damn club. Now they don't have shit. All they got is that trust fund. That's it. They don't have no money, nothing. You need to try to keep that money coming in at the club and manage that shit the best way possible, because they screwed right now. Royally. The only thing she got, hopefully, is damn, she got that trust fund and shit. If she ever need to do that, she's so worried about the tax penalty shit. The other penalty is being broke. You've been renting out that place. That's why it's never good to rent anything. Always buy. Don't lease your car. If you can avoid it, just buy a car. You don't need to buy a new car all the time every couple years. And if you do, then just trade in the car you got. Because if anything ever happens, or anything happened with your job or your house, you renting an apartment or whatever the case, and shit happened, they will put your ass out in a month or two, or repo your car, and you'll be without. But if you own your own home and you lose your job, at least you can sell it and get some money back. You can get a a loan, home equity loan or anything. You got options. Whereas when you in an apartment, you ain't got no option. Your option is come up with that motherfucking rent on the first, or your ass is out. You gonna be optioning for a new place. Same with your car. You ain't got that payment. It doesn't matter if you've been paying on it for you leasing with these people for years. You ain't got that payment. You're gonna have to bring that car back. Whereas if you paid for your car and you own it, then you paid it off. If something happened, at least you got a car. At least you got a car that's paid for, something that you can use. So they kind of screwed right now. Poor Tasha, she had to turn her back. The kids are looking, they know something wrong. She about to break down and cry, but I give her credit. She held it together for the meantime. We'll see what she end up doing. Her shit ain't all that clean either. Her shit stank too. But that's not the point. The point is she about to lose Ghost. That's the man been taking care of her, paying for everything. They had a good life together until Angie walked into it to truth and he started fucking with her. Up until then, everything was going perfect. She had a dream life. And now she's starting to wake up from that dream, and shit is ugly. Charlie Murphy happily breaking down what happens when you get lethal injection. He think he a cop killer. He think he guilty. He already done kicked his ass. And, it's just sad that Ghost know his days may be numbered. It's messed up when you know what day you gonna die. If he gets convicted of, this murder charge, then he gonna get the death penalty. He'll know the date of his death. I know that's got to be kind of hard, but he's screwed. And Charlie Murphy just so happy to tell him because he think he guilty and he want him to die for it. And it's good to see Charlie Murphy. He just passed, late great Charlie Murphy. He was a good guy from what we know. We didn't know him personally, but it's sad to see how skinny he got. They say he had cancer. And it's just sad to see how skinny he got before he passed. Cancer can be devastating, and it just took all the weight off of him, and just made him just so frail looking. I'm glad they was able to give him this job and this role before he passed, so we can all see him one last time. Because Charlie Murphy really made a difference on the Chappelle Show, where we all got to know him a little better. Although he had roles ever since Harlem Nights and beyond. But yeah, Charlie Murphy, man, may he rest in peace. He was a good actor, funny guy. He been playing this role. He ain't joking or playing around. But he played it pretty good considering he knew he was sick at this time. He had to know. And he knew his days was numbered. While he talking about how Ghost is going to die, I know he was thinking in the back of his mind like, damn, I could be dead any moment too. I'm sick. I got all this shit going on. But I'm going to continue to work so that my family can have a little bit more money before I go. And so that's what he did. He could have easily just stayed out of the public eye and said, I'm sick. I don't want people to see me like this or whatever the case. But that's not what he did. He continued to work, and he didn't mind that people saw how frail and bad he was looking. He did it for his family, you know. Sort of like what Ghost do things for his family, or like any man would do for his family if he really loved them. I know I try to do the most I can for my family, for my son, and I got health issues, so that's what happened with him, and may he rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. Then they cut to Angie. She need a drink. She at home. She been stressed. Greg is dead. Jamie, as she calls him, is about to be dead. She had something to do with all the shit that they went through. She was the main ingredient, the common denominator in that love triangle. And I don't know if she really thinks he did it. I think she did at first, but that gun being found in his office is really kind of sticking to her a little bit. She know he wasn't that stupid of a person. He was very calculated, and so I just don't think that she really buys that. And in the end, she's gonna go to snooping like she always do, little Snoopy. Want to be Snoop Dogg, but anyway, I think she's gonna start snooping in the next episodes to uncover the truth about that gun, and she may end up being the one coming to save his ass. Uh, I'll, believe it or not, I think it's probably gonna be her and Tommy or her and Tasha that come together to save Ghost. Um, so we'll see how it works out. She the one put his ass in jail, checking on the window and doing all that extracurricular shit, which, I would have, if I was his lawyer, I would have said, who found these fingerprints? And then when they would have said it was her, I would have said, oh, well, isn't that convenient? She found them all by herself when nobody was there, you know, at his apartment. How do we know that she didn't come up with that evidence? At the time, that was the only evidence they had when they arrested him. They didn't check under his fingers for his DNA or whatever. And he could have easily said, he pulled me over that night. That's why his DNA is on there. He pulled me over. He was working off the books. They would have found that he had a history of working off the books and doing things that was not following protocol. And she did as well. She had a history of doing the same. And then for her to find his fingerprints at dude's house all by herself, no other agents was there. She was working off the clock on her own. And then all of a sudden she comes up talking about she got fingerprints. Let's arrest him. That's bullshit. If I was his lawyer, I would no way in the world would I let him stay in jail off of that flimsy ass evidence. You can't just go getting fingerprints for somebody to convict them for murder all on your own, off the clock, and you was part of the love triangle at that. That could have easily been falsified evidence. Easily. So, I don't know. They let that slide. I guess, like I say, they got to push the story for the show to make it 10 episodes. So, hey, you got to do what you got to do. As Angie is in the middle of having her drink to calm down, of course, she gets a knock on the door, and it's Tasha, and she coming with that black woman spirit to come check her ass and let her know that she full of shit, she wrong for all the shit she doing, and how she trying to break up the family and bring, Ghost down with this fake ass evidence. And then Angie tries to come back at her and say, hey, his DNA was under his fingerprints. It was on Greg or whatever. We found the fingerprints at the crime scene, and then we found the gun at Truth. So you tell me, and then Tasha don't really have a comeback for that. She like, well, damn. And then Tasha, of course, say, you lucky you a cop, because I'd kick your ass. Which actually, she's not a cop. So that's another thing. She wouldn't have been able to arrest him at the end of last season because she's not a goddamn cop. She's a attorney. You know what I'm saying? She's an attorney. So she works with the police, but she's an attorney. Attorneys can't go arresting people. So they gave her a little more power than she should have, because she's not a fucking cop. She can't be going and getting fingerprints and all this shit. She's a goddamn attorney. AUSA. So, attorney for the U.S., Justice Department. And so, anyway, they got to keep the story moving. So they let her arrest him, even though she don't have arresting powers. So Tasha say, I would have kicked your ass if you wasn't a cop. She say, well, but I am. And anyway, she should have still kicked her ass because it ain't like she on the clock. But anyway, she as she leaving, she say, I wish I never went in that club and met him. And of course, Tasha say, no shit. Of course not. Who happy you met him again? Nobody's happy about that. You full of shit. I think all of this is coming back to how Ghost dumped her so hard, though. If he wouldn't have dumped her so hard like he did, I always thought that was a mistake. He should have just let her down easy, or just told her the truth. Hey, these people was trying to hurt me. Milan, he looked for any excuse to do this or that. He trying to force me to do some shit I don't want to do, blackmail me or whatever. And so I just, to protect you, we need to stop seeing each other for a little bit until things calm down, or something like that. But he just went straight for the hard dump, you know. And Tommy, of course, was putting pressure on him because Tommy was mad that he lost his girl. And so he wanted him to lose his girl. You know, I lost my girl because I thought she got you killed. So I lost my girl over you. You need to lose your girl over me. You know, which is some gay bullshit. But anyway, he made him dump her, basically convinced it, and he dumped her hard. She just collapsed at the door and crying, and yeah, he was hurt too because he didn't want to do it. He was on the other side of the door crying, but he should have just knocked on the door, opened it up, picked her up, kissed her, told her the truth, say I'm sorry, but instead he pulled his shit together, walked away, and left her hurt. And it ain't nothing like a woman scorned. Her sister was mad at him. She was mad at him. Everything. It was too much. You know, he did too much. And I'm surprised we ain't seen her sister yet. But nevertheless, you know, that's all coming back to bite him. Before Tasha leaves, she let her know, hey, and by the way, Greg was my boyfriend. So all the shit you saying, he knew that Greg was my boyfriend, so maybe he killed Greg to get back with me, or because he was my boyfriend, or whatever the case. Which throws another monkey wrench into Tasha's mind, thinking, damn, this motherfucker killed her boyfriend trying to get back with her. Wait a minute, what? So she just all confused now and thinking, wow, what in the world? So this dude wasn't just a regular old cop, that was her boyfriend. So now, who knows what he did? Maybe he did try to kill this dude. And so now she put doubt into her head, which, you know, that's messed up because now Tasha was like his last main supporter in his life. And then Angie just put doubt in her head by saying Greg was her boyfriend. So now she thinking, wow, what in the world is going on with this dude? What just happened? Tasha just thinking, wow, this damn girl ruined our family, and Ghost ruined our family and business and everything over her and this dude Greg. Everything has come crashing down over that, and she just thinking, wow, how could this be? We had everything going so perfectly, at least I thought. Then they show Kanan sneak attack Dre. And Dre about to shit a brick. He don't know what to do. He really scared of Kaden. Kaden, man. I mean, I guess he is a scary dude and done some crazy stuff. Man, if you know you killed this dude and killed his own son and killed all kind of people and, you know, was in jail and did all kind of shit, you know, ain't no telling what this dude would do. So Dre, I guess, plus he younger than him. Yeah, he's scared. But Kanan confronting him and asking, why did you tell Tariq about Kanan? Why did you do that? You know, I can't trust your ass. And he's saying, man, I didn't say that. I swear, I ain't talked to him about you. I didn't say that. And he's saying it wasn't me. And, you know, he's saying, well, you know, how the fuck he know? And he's saying, man, I don't know, but I've been paying you to leave him alone. Why you still messing with him? He said, yeah, you was paying me for that. Now you paying me so I don't kill your ass. And so now Dre realized how screwed he is and that he really is in trouble and that he is alone and he ain't got nobody that got his back no more. Kanan ready to kill him. You know, he's saying, you know, you ain't trustworthy. So Kanan don't trust him and Tommy don't trust him. Ghost half-ass trust him. So he kind of in the middle of this all by himself now. He ain't got nobody to trust him. Ain't nothing he can really do. He kind of screwed. And now he's stealing all this money and paying it to Kanan. And, Kanan ready to kill him. He just changed the script on him and said, this money is just to pay me, not to kill your ass now. So now what he gonna do? So he got that hands up, don't shoot right now because he's screwed and he know it. In the end, they showing Tommy getting the phone call from Ghost for the first time, talking to him, getting all the news. Ghost really can't say too much over the phone because those phones are tapped. So he's just basically telling them, hey, I'm fucked. If I go down, they're going to give me the death penalty. They're going to give me the needle. Tommy just in disbelief. And he's saying, I need you to help me by keeping an eye on my family and taking care of my family. Then Tommy, a loyal friend, he loved Tariq and Raina, and he looked at Tasha as a sister. So, of course, Tommy say, I got your back. Whatever you need, I'm going to take care of your family. Because Ghost is basically letting them know in code, hey, I'm not going to snitch. I might go down for this shit and die. And if I do, you owe me by taking care of my family. Make sure my family is straight. If I'm not going to snitch on you and I'm not going to, I'm going to go down for this shit, then you owe me to make sure that my family is straight since I won't be alive to do it myself. Otherwise, I can just snitch on your ass and then I can get out and do it my damn self. Basically. So, the honor amongst best friends and thieves and drug dealers and whatever they've been doing all their life together. For one, he'd be wrong if he brought Tommy and snitched on him because Tommy and the dope business didn't get caught up. He did. And he didn't kill Greg, but this is part of his love triangle. This ain't a part of their dope business or nothing that they was doing. This ain't got nothing to do with none of that. So they trying to bring it in because they couldn't get Tommy on that shit before. But, he's going to be a loyal friend. He going to keep it 100. He ain't going to tell on Tommy. And Tommy, is glad to hear that shit, of course. In the end, I'm wondering how next episode and how this shit is going to go forward with Ghost in jail. How's he going to get out of this shit? How's he going to beat this rap? The deck is stacked against them. They really, really made this shit hard. They better not come up with no bullshit technicality, fake shit to get him off. They better make it seem real because the writers really wrote him into a shitty situation. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if he had to give up some of that biscuit booty while he locked up. Because he really in trouble, man. Ghost, they really got him in trouble right now. And he really don't have nowhere to turn to. Tommy is his only hope to take care of his family. Maybe Tommy will give them some money or whatever, Tasha and them. Make sure that they straight. I mean, I don't think he would have a problem with it as much as he liked Tasha as a best friend or sister or whatever I should say. And he loved Tariq as Uncle Tommy. So I think his family would be taken care of. But who knows, the more he start messing with Keisha, he might start trying to take care of her son and her more. Spending more time with her. So we don't know. That's the good thing about this shit. Too bad we gotta wait a week to find out. But that's how it ends. And we'll see how it goes. They're doing a great job on this season of Power. As always, it's a good show. It's got a lot of interesting, plot twist. Wondering what's going to happen with him in jail. The police already beat his ass. Somebody already trying to get some of his booty. And then we got that old white gangster. What's his role in all of this? How's he going to be able to help or do anything, contribute anything to the plot? Even if he is Tommy's dad, what the hell good would that do? What is that going to do? And then he old. So, I mean, how much ass could he really kick, helping Ghost? Now, he got a little influence, maybe. But in the end, what is he really going to be able to do so much of? So it's interesting to see how they're going to work him into the mix. He needs money, okay, but what is what does that mean? So what? Ghost gonna start giving him money? Ghost damn near broke his damn self. You know, what are they gonna be able to do with him? How is Proctor gonna keep this case going so that Tommy don't want to get on him? Ghost, so his wife keep getting her little dope. What is Tasha gonna do with the family? She got to think about the kids. She got to figure out what is Tariq doing, hanging with so-called Slim. Angie, what is she gonna do? She know that gun left in truth just a little too fishy, just a little too perfect. It just seemed too easy. And she know that Ghost, she couldn't catch him up with shit. She tried to catch him up a couple times by bugging his phone to doing all kind of shit. And she never could catch him up. And now all of a sudden he got a gun in the club. That just don't make sense. And she know he didn't carry guns like that. So, then with Mike, the crooked prosecutor, how they gonna end up catching him up to prove that he did it? So far it looked like he covered his ass kind of good. He killed old boy. It was no witnesses. Although when they killed him, what I would have said is review the footage of who came in and out of his building during those times of death. And a couple hours before and a couple hours after. Then they would have saw Mike came into that building. And then he would immediately have been a suspect. What were you in the building for? What were you doing? But they didn't review the security footage for Greg's building when he got killed, which I never understood why not. That should have been the first thing they did as cops. When Greg was killed, we need to review the footage of who came in and out of this building in the last few hours. Mike, he didn't know he was going to kill Greg, so he would have just walked into that building normally. He wouldn't have been sneaking around because his intentions wasn't to kill him. Greg was saying, I know how to get Angela. He wasn't saying, I think you did it. So that happened kind of at the spur of the moment when he received that phone call. So, I'm wondering what's up with that. Maybe that might come back up. Maybe Angela might snoop around and find that video footage and see that Mike came into his house right around the time of death and never said nothing, never mentioned it. And the more that this shit goes on and he never brings it up, that makes him look a whole lot more guilty. And then he was there at the club the day when they found the gun. Yeah, he didn't find it, but he was there. So who's to say he didn't plant it? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the future episodes look. Hope y'all enjoyed this review. And peace. And check out my other videos. Like, subscribe. Have a great day. Peace.